Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. I don't know if I included too many M's there. It felt weird coming out of my mouth. This is episode 154, ladies and gentlemen. The last fight card of the year. Am I right? This is it. This is the last dance, some would say.
The last of the Mohicans for 2023. I can't believe we're almost in 2024, but yeah, we're kicking 2024 off right. You know who we're kicking 2024 off with?
Who?
Johnny Walker Fight Night, baby.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to end 2023 with Leon knocking out Colby, right? Ripping his head off and handing it to Sir Trump. And then we're starting 2024 off with Johnny Walker and Ankalaev. Who knows what's going to happen in that? 297. We don't love 297. I feel like the start of 2024 doesn't look amazing until like February, right? When we get 298. And then they go to Riyadh for whatever reason in March. Riyadh season. And then you got 299 and then obviously 300. So I think the first month-ish is going to be like a couple fight nights and then 297, like I said. You know, it's in Canada and the cards, Raquel Pennington's a co-main, so that's all I got to say.
Raquel Pennington is a co-main, and that is one of the most disgusting cards I've ever seen. But we are here to talk about UFC 296. Again, this is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. My name is Matt McSweeney. His name is Ty Capone. It is our pleasure to be here. We will have an episode next week, kind of breaking this stuff down, and then we might do we've been teasing it for quite some time, but I think we got to do an awards episode next week to give the people a little bit of Christmas, joy and spirit and all that.
Ranking,
good.
maybe pound for pound.
Oh, we got to update everything.
We haven't updated that.
It's the big blowout. We might not have a MMA pod for a couple weeks after that. So
yeah, we're both getting canceled.
Yeah, I've been canceled. I don't know if you guys have heard. I've already been canceled before I even got famous.
Too many wrong picks.
Yeah,
we have been canceled.
Oh my God! If people are betting my picks, they're homeless now. I'm gonna go. You know that I'm also gonna try and go through by the award show to figure out what our year-to-date numbers are, because last year we actually did pretty good. This year, Ty definitely did better than I did. I did horrible, man. So why don't we finish it off with a good one, huh?
Yeah. Worst bet of 2023 is Cyril Gane money line. That's for sure.
Yeah, for you, I can't. I'd have to go through. I had some doozies, some real doozies here. I'll tell you, the one that hurt the most was Islam just head kicking Volkanovski, and I don't even think I had I think I had Islam decision, but it just hurt to see that happen right off the top of my head. But ladies and gentlemen, again, we are
his head.
Yeah, off his head. His head definitely hurt more than mine did. But UFC 296. From Las Vegas. I don't know why Los Angeles is in my mind because I just was talking about Otani. Yeah, that's literally.
Yeah, Otani's going to be in the main event. Otani versus Trout.
I think I would take Otani over Trout in the main event if they were offering odds on that. But UFC 296, Las Vegas, not Los Angeles. Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. We have 13 scheduled fights as of now. We've already lost one. That being Ian Gary. Ian Machado, Gary. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody involved. He is pulled out of his fight with Vicente Luque. I believe he says he has pneumonia and the flu and every other sort of viral infection that he could possibly have. He did not mention that he may have herpes, because I'm still wondering about that thing that was on his lip. But honestly, it kind of sucks for Ian Gary, because this was a situation he really did need to show up and kind of, answer for all the stuff that he, started, and just, he's talked so much shit to everyone before. It was kind of his turn to get shit talked to him, and he's not there to answer the bell. It kind of sucks. If he really does have pneumonia there's really nothing he can do. It's kind of just a tough time for that to happen, but I still don't like the guy. Let me just go out and say that.
Nobody does.
No, it doesn't seem like he has many friends amongst the MMA community. Not really many people say anything good about the guy, so that's unfortunate. And he's married to a wag, whatever that. I still don't understand what the wife and girlfriend. I didn't read the book, so somebody's going to have to give me the breakdown on that. I don't know if you were able to check that out for research purposes, but
I do know that she caught him in a trap, and he sucked in. That's all I know.
Yeah,
So,
and he lives with her ex.
Yeah, I think she wrote a book about it, right?
She
Is that
did.
the book you're talking about? She wrote. Okay, yeah. I thought you meant there wasn't just a general book about Wags. I'm like, I don't know if I want to read that. I don't know if I want to read what Miss Machado has to say, but
I'm good.
either way, she's got Ian Gary caught up. We'll see if she shows up to the next fight whenever he gets rebooked. Hopefully, it's with Luque.
I don't blame him.
I was actually looking forward to it, even though Luque has been trending down. He obviously had that brain injury, but I like it. I was going to pick him. I've always been a Luque backer ever since he knocked out Bilal, knocked out Brian Barberina with like 3 seconds, cashed me out there. I remember exactly where I was for that fight. Shout out to Jordan McKillop. So yeah, I really want to watch that one. Really want to root against Ian Gary, but I thought he also could have, had a clear path to victory in that fight, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess we will never know, or maybe we will. When he gets cleared, or when maybe they can make a quick turnaround. And when he feels better, they can just do it. But
next weekend.
Yeah, hopefully they'll just have a one night, one fight, just a super event. That would be kind of sick. But we got Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, main event for the 170-pound title, formerly of Kamaru Usman and GSP. Ilk. Do you think Leon Edwards is the GOAT? No, I love that. That'll be the conversation if he wins this fight. It's literally every single fight. It's like, is this guy the GOAT?
Is he the best ever?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's nothing against him, but I just don't think he's the greatest of all time. So, Ty, we have, as an ad pops up on my screen, that is always great. We have plus 130. I'm sorry, 136, 130 to Colby Covington's. That's Colby Covington. To Leon Edwards is minus 160, 162, kind of just in that area. I got to get my shit together, man. I got to lock in on this card. I don't know what's going on with me. My mind is all over the place, but it's probably because these ads keep popping up on my. I can't use this website anymore if this is how this is going to be.
Dude wipes.
Dude, yeah, it's like, hey, have you ever seen this wiping an asshole before? No, I don't. I'm good on that, but. Ty, I think I know where your allegiance lies on this fight, or what you think is going to happen. But I guess I'd like to hear you explain it first, as how you think Leon Edwards is going to get this done.
But first off, let me start by saying it's crazy that Colby's getting another title shot. It's been 650 days since he's fought.
It's really been that long.
If you remember when Leon Edwards got removed from the rankings, he didn't fight for 425 days. In between 2020 and 2021. Colby's also trying to become the first fighter ever in UFC history to lose 3 undisputed title fights. Also, he has 1 finish last 7 years, and it was the Woodley injury. He's getting older. I'm not too sure how he's going to look. It's been 18 months, I think, since he fought. He's 35, turns 36 soon. That's the age of demarcation, I guess, if you want to.
Love when you use that word.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I don't use it right, but
sounds good.
It sounds good. That's the cutoff, though. Like, the only fighter to ever win a belt or a title fight in between 125 and 170 was Tyron Woodley. Turning 35 or older was Tyron Woodley. So maybe Colby can buck that trend. I think stylistically, this could be a decent matchup for him. I think he's going to work hard on that wrestling. Also, he has a pretty nice jump shot. I don't know if you saw on the embedded.
I did see that.
He has a pretty smooth jumper. So if Kelly Oubre gets hit by another car, I think we should sign Colby, put him on the wing. But I just think if it's standing at all, he's pretty outgunned. I think Leon is bigger. I think he's stronger. I think he has a couple inches of reach and height. Not much, but a couple years younger. He's in his prime. He's been active. He's at a good point in his career. Seems locked in. He's really getting the rub from English fans. They're really starting to embrace him, and he's starting to pop more everywhere he goes. So that's good to see. I know he's kind of a low key guy, but he seems cool. I like him. I know he's not the most popular UFC fighter. A lot of UFC fans shit on him for not fighting in 2020, 2021, but not really sure how that was his fault. They wouldn't let him leave the country. So, and then the whole Masvidal thing. Everybody wants to take Masvidal's side when he gave him the 2-piece and the soda. And that was funny when it happened. But if they ran that shit back, I think Leon smokes him. But
yeah,
either way, when it comes to this fight, the kicks. I remember when he did the Usman's legs, shoot him up. I think he should be able to do that to Colby from the opening bell, honestly. I think Leon should probably dominate any clinch exchanges. That just might be a little worrisome. Colby could probably use that to get a trip or get a single or a double, and then work a takedown. But I think Leon could probably work his way up. I also think Leon could have some success in the wrestling and the grappling. Maybe not out wrestling Colby, but just some moments of success. I think he can work his way back up, or he can, reverse him or do something, catch him lacking, maybe get his own takedown. I'm sure Colby won't expect him to shoot, but I think the technical kickboxing that he has, I think the low kicks, I think that should be enough. I don't know if he gets a finish. I mean, Colby's pretty tough to hurt, but he has been hurt. He has been dropped a couple times by Usman. I think Masvidal dropped him, right? So it's not impossible. I think it might go 25, and I think Leon probably wins 3-2, 4-1. So I'm gonna go Leon unanimous decision. I could see him getting this finish, but again, it's kind of tough to tell where Colby is and what Colby's going to look like. I think we know what his game plan is. He's not really ever changed it, but still 18 months off. I think that's really going to hurt him. His cardio is going to be great. There's no denying that. And Leon's always had kind of issues cardio wise, but I think he should be good here. I think he should cruise, honestly.
So you're not worried at all about the chain wrestling and the way, I mean, Usman, especially in that first fight, I guess technically second, but was having success in the wrestling department pretty easily, it seemed. And, Leon was on death's doorstep, ready to get out of there. He had enough. He wasn't going to get finished, but he kind of just, had accepted his defeat. Do you don't think that there's a possible world that kind of replays itself, and that, I mean, even Usman said it himself this week that, Colby, the difference between him, Colby and Usman and a DC or something is that Colby is not going to quit trying to get that takedown. Like, he is never going to stop pursuing it because he knows that's his only way really of victory. Do you think that Leon is going to be able to keep that pace up, or if that pace is able to get kept up, do you think he's going to be able to, I guess it really feels to me like Leon, the best case is that he gets him out of there early so that the longer this fight goes, the more it kind of tends to lean towards Colby. And the only hope with that being for Leon would maybe that like you said, Colby, the time off and him being older now, that cardio, has kind of fallen off a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and count on that. That seems like the one thing that Colby has, weaponized and has, in abundance over Leon. I don't think Leon's necessarily like, a gasser or anything like that, but Colby is just like that's like a all-time sort of gas tank that it seems like he has, and he seriously does never quit during, these fights and going for the takedown. Even in the Usman fight that he got finished in, he was still fighting the entire time, had his jaw broken, never quit. So it seems like he's gonna have to be put out to get him out of there. Do you think that's going to happen?
Colby get put out?
Yes.
I think it could, but if it stays standing and he can't really get the takedowns or he can't hold him down, because in the second Usman fight, Leon was held down and controlled for 10 minutes. In the third fight, he was held down and controlled for 5 minutes with only one less takedown, 5 takedowns in the second, 4 in the third. So, cutting that control time in half, within less than a year, he's still learning, he's still improving. I think, what is he, 31? So, I just think he's at such a great point right now. I think this is his time. I don't know if there's really anything Colby can do. I'm sure he'll get some takedowns. He's definitely going to go for him. He's not going to quit or give up. But, I think maybe he gets a little desperate. Maybe he gets into head kick range, right? Maybe Leon can land another spectacular knockout. But no, I don't think there's really any. The only threat or the biggest threat you think is maybe Leon gets tired and then maybe you can finish him in the later rounds or steal some of those later rounds. Colby hasn't got a finish besides the Woodley injury since Max Griffin back in 2016 on the Bisping Henderson card, which is crazy. I'm sorry, that's wrong person. I'm so sorry.
All right,
he hasn't got to finish Max Griffin since 2016 on the Diaz McGregor 2 card. So even even before that.
Wow.
Even going back longer. Yeah, crazy.
What a
That's the last time. Yeah.
What a night.
It's funny, I don't really remember the second fight nearly as much as the first one, but I do remember Connor dropping him like 4 times and still getting outstruck. But and he won a majority decision too, right? It was
an awesome fight. It was extremely close.
And that's the co-main where Anthony Johnson teleported.
Absolutely decimated Glover Teixeira. I've never seen anything like that.
That was crazy. Seemed like Mike Perry got a decimation first round knockout. The Cowboys second round. The card was loaded.
Yeah.
Cody Garbrandt put somebody out in a minute.
Yep.
Raquel Pennington, your girl, got a win. So Artem Lobov making an appearance on the card. I remember that.
That was him versus Avila, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Chris Avila. Marvin Torrey making his debut. So yeah, I don't think Leon has anything to worry about. Like the Nate Diaz fight where we heard him late, and it was like, oh man, is Leon a gas or will he quit if it's late in the fight? I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe Colby wins the 5th or 4th. I don't know. I'm kind of eager to see how this plays out. I'm not going to bet anything just because it's been 18 months since we've seen Colby, and I don't know if there's really anything bettable. Maybe I could kind of see Leon being a parlay piece. Minus 155 is. Not that I thought it'd be a little higher. I thought it'd be closer to the Pantoja line, but I guess I'm not really surprised. Colby's a tough fucking out, a tough puzzle to figure out no matter who you are, right? Usman beat him twice and, looked dominant in specific parts of those fights, but he struggled. It was a fucking dogfight both times. So, like I said, the age of the time off, that really comes back to haunt him, I think. So, Give me Rocky Edwards for the win.
I am going to count on Colby Covington taking the soul from Leon Edwards early on in this fight. Takedown, maybe even catches him and wobbles him a little bit. And I'm just going to count on the fact that Colby Covington finally breaks through, gets those takedowns, kind of just backpacks and holds him down. And just wrestle fucks him. That's the only way I think he wins this fight. Probably a decision, but that I'm not going to be willing to bet. The 2 props that I would bet would be Edwards TKO, which is plus 270, and you can get it as high as plus 390 on FanDuel, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know if they're giving shit away this weekend or if they know for sure that's not going to happen. But I'd also like
something.
Covington decision is plus 280 as well. So, if you're a guy who likes to make money, you want to do either one of those, then I don't blame you. I know like I said, he is a tough out, but it seems like, if this fight does go the distance, that means a lot of these striking exchanges are going to happen from at distance, and I think Leon will have, more success that way, and, maybe Covington is older, he's taking more damage, and finally gets cracked and gets kind of, TKO'd sort of where he's covering up, but it's, he just can't respond. We've seen it happen a million times. Edwards' decision is plus 150, so that's what they really think is going to happen. That's kind of a wider favorite. They do think this fight's going to go to decision because it's Covington plus 225 and him plus 165, and then the TKOs are 275 and 700. So, and the submissions are kind of in the same spot as well. So they obviously believe this fight is going to decision. I could see that happening as well. So therefore, I'm going to take Colby Covington plus 135 money line. Lock it in. I think he gets it done. Upsets the world. It is the most annoying thing for the entire Christmas season. This guy doing interviews with his "Make America Great Again" hat. It's going to be brutal, but I think he gets it done. I don't know. It just to me. I always would love to. I tend to lean towards the striker all the time. And Leon Edwards is, everything is pointing towards Leon Edwards. That's why something's telling me to go the other way. I don't know. I think I always am one of the dogs in the 2 title fights always wins. And I'm going to pick that. So that kind of gives you the foreshadowing for what my next pick is going to be. So we will move right into that fight. That is a 125 flyweight title fight. The belt that was formerly owned by Mr. Brandon Moreno. He is nowhere to be found in this one. It is Alexandre Pantoja getting in there against Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval is a plus 160 underdog to Alexandre Pantoja's minus 190 and as high as 200 on some websites. I don't know. We have talked about this a million times on here. I know Royval is tough. He is a great fighter. I have never been a big believer in him, and I honestly, that last fight was not all that long ago. It was a little over 2 years ago, and I don't think enough time has passed where I don't get a similar result or situation to happen in this one. The good thing about Royval is he's mainly he's a finisher, but I think he struggles against these guys who are really good at taking you to the ground and even getting to your back, because this fight last time ended via rear naked choke, and I honestly, Ty, I don't really see. I mean, obviously, I can see it going another way, but in my opinion, the exact same thing is going to happen.
Yeah, I think since that first fight, Brandon Royval has kind of dialed back to chaos, but he still thrives on chaos. I think they both do. Honestly, they're both a little wild. They're both crazy. And in the first fight, he did have some success. I want to say right after they had this long grappling exchange, they stood up, and it seemed like Pantoja was tired, and Royval, I think it was the end of the first round, started picking him apart and winning some striking exchanges. The second round starts, and then he overextends with a left cross. Pantoja took his back, and that was it. I mean, he has one of the best rear naked chokes in the game, in the sport, pound for pound, some of the best jiu-jitsu in the game. So like their first fight was 2 years ago, and I think since that fight he's on a 3-fight winning streak, and they've all been impressive. I think the last win against Nicolau was really impressive. Nobody really talks about it as much because Nicolau was supposed to burst onto the scene with a win in that fight, but with a loss, people kind of forgot about him or didn't really get to know who he is as a fighter. But he's solid, man. He's really good, and that knee to punches combo from Royval happened so quick and just nasty, man. And the Bontarine win was really, really good. It was a very close one. I'm a big Bontarine fan, so he's kind of switched his style up a little bit since the Moreno Pantoja fights. How many submissions does he have? He has 9 submissions himself. So, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to try to win this fight. I think Royval, his best strategy is probably just to be a wild man on the feet. I think he wants to avoid any grappling exchanges as possible. Yeah. I will say running 10 miles at a 6.5-minute pace in Colorado is fucking nuts. And that's what Brandon Royval does. He doesn't even break a sweat. So he has some of the best cardio I've seen. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, he's always been a guy, no matter how much he dials back his style, that he thrives on chaos. That's kind of how it works for him. And I don't know if that's going to work in his favor here. I just think this is possibly a matchup that he just won't be able to win, or, 7 times out of 10, he loses, even though he's right there and he's, can be in close fights, kind of like Volkan and Makhachev to a lesser degree. But I still think he has a chance of pulling it off. I think a lot of variance comes into play in this fight. I really don't have a great feel for it. I'm going to go Pantoja sub. I think he just, it's weird. All his fights, he just kind of moves forward and tries to bully guys in the first round.
Yeah.
Is what he does. He's so fucking strong. And he knows where his bread is buttered. He knows where he wants to get the fight and usually gets it there. But he can hit too, man. He can crack really, really well. I mean, he got tired in the Moreno fight, but then he kind of he likes to find a second wind, if you will, and he was really wild in that fight, but it worked. It worked. So I think Alexandre Pantoja's game is, I think he's at, just like Leon, a perfect point in his career. I think the time is his. Obviously, his last fight, remember, he had that emotional call out of his dad.
Yeah.
And said, "Are you proud of me now?" And that was awesome. Also, if he was American, I think a lot more people would be behind Pantoja. I think he's the perfect fan favorite fighter. I mean, he brings it balls to the wall all the time. So it's, of course, him being Brazilian definitely plays a part in him not being as popular. But this is gonna be a big fight, man. This is gonna be a big fight. I just see the title changing hands a lot in this division, possibly. But and I think Pantoja can definitely fade, right? If things don't go his way right away.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of back and forth. I could see why people want to take Royval. But I think Pantoja's. I think he has his number. So Alexandre Pantoja sub. That's my bet.
I'm with you as well. I think the sub plus, you can get it at plus 150 on here. 145 at FanDuel. FanDuel, it seems like FanDuel's got the best odds of anybody for all of these fights. So maybe get on there.
Round 3 sub, I think.
Round 3 sub. I think I don't know. Like the problem I have with Royval is that it just seems like something always kind of can go wrong in these fights, or he kind of just makes these little mistakes, especially like in that last Pantoja fight. I don't know. I just
also remember he got dropped by Schnell.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I just
taken down 8 times by Bontarine. Like, yeah, I agree 100% with what you said. He makes a lot of mistakes, and like I said, he has dialed back his. He's mentally. I think he's in a better place. I think he lost that fight, and now he's like he said it himself. He thought he was invincible. This and that. The shoulder injury to Marino was the reason he lost that fight. So he kind of thought he was on top of the world. Kind of got humbled. So, but I don't think that's really going to matter. I think he's just up against a guy who, when they collide, it kind of the edge favors Pantoja. It's really, really close. And I think there's going to be moments where I think Royval could rock him or just, dominate him in the first round. Then second round comes out, boom, makes one little slip up, one little mistake, and then his back's taken. And then the fight's over from there. You know?
That's the thing. It's with a guy like Pantoja, he does and it's the thing I like about betting Pantoja is that he's not like a scrub on the feet. Like he can hold his own. It's just that his strength and what he loves to do or has success doing is getting you to the ground, and then his wrestling and just his technical prowess in jiu-jitsu. He's so powerful with the way he moves. It's I have trouble Royval, like you said, he's not going to quit. Cardio for days, but you've seen the way he kind of just is easily taken down. I think he has too much respect for his own game off his back and his ability to get back up, because he will get back up. That's not the problem, but I think Pantoja is going to get him down at one point, and he's going to maybe Royval is going to be too quick to get back up, and he's going to get his back taken real quick and just neck snatch. I think it's going to happen real quick out of nowhere where we're like, oh shit, wow, and that's it. I could also see Pantoja hurting him on the feet too, because he's a very powerful guy. He's smaller. Royval definitely has the length in this. I think but the thing is, Royval, one thing being a bigger guy, having that length, you would be able to throw kicks. I wouldn't exactly throw kicks against Pantoja, because if he catches one of them and gets you down, it's a problem. So, Pantoja sub plus 150. I'm in. And now we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. We have this fight just seems cruel, and it's a little wrong. I don't understand why they do this, but this is the UFC's way. Steven, God,
Wonder Boy for years, I thought he didn't want to fight Shavkat. He didn't want to fight any strikers. But then he changed his tune after the Pereira fight that got canceled, and he rightfully didn't have to fight him. Now he wants to fight for the belt. That's what he wants to do. So whatever gets me a title shot. He says beating Shavkat and knocking him out gets him a title shot. I don't think so. I
think so.
But really, I think he's way back in the line here. I don't think he jumps up.
Ty, imagine a world that he head kicks Shavkat Rakhmonov and sends him into the shadow realm. I mean, like you can't even fathom it right now. Like you're like, no, I don't see that happening. But you're like, if it does happen, like I know he would. And if things were even, yes, he would be at the back of the line. He'd have to work his way up. But you look at the rankings, and it's like, well,
is he gonna jump a wall though?
Hell yeah, he would. That would be more impressive than anything Bilal Muhammad's done.
I agree.
So it's like
also Usman being one is kind of crazy to me, but
I think Usman should fight Muhammad. That's what should happen.
How come when champions lose, they automatically become the number one contender? I feel like you're not the number one contender because you just lost. Like you shouldn't be. That's not how that should work. But whatever. Either way. So yeah, I mean, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was trying to avoid these guys. Now he's like, you know what? I got one more in me, and now he wants all the smoke apparently. But
this might be smoke you want to walk away from.
This is carbon monoxide. I would not walk anywhere near Mr. Shavkat wearing dead animals. Also eats deer meat. Deer meat is his favorite.
Oh well. So I'm sure there's some other guys out there that.
What? I'm sorry. Horse meat is his favorite.
That's even worse. Okay, so That's what I always say that the tacos are made out of at Taco Bell, but allegedly, I don't. As a joke, we're having fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
But seriously, how about Shavkat Rakhmonov is a minus 650 favorite, as high as minus 720 on FanDuel. So I think they know how this is going to go, or they think they know how this is going to go. Wonder Boy is a plus 470, 464. I mean, I don't think he's ever been this close to being this big of an underdog. Would I be correct in saying that? I mean, this is outlandish. I don't think Wonder Boy, the biggest favorite or the biggest underdog he was in recent memory I can see here on the site is he was a plus 265 underdog to Johnny Hendricks. So
Wow.
And that was
back when he was on the juice.
Yeah, and that was in 2015, 16. So I mean, that's insane. So now he is that big of an underdog by 10 times. What do you do here? Is there anything to even bet here? Do you think that Shavkat just cuts through him like butter and just eviscerates him on the ground? Do you think could he get caught coming out? Like, this fight is kind of fascinating in the matchup sense, but in reality, I think you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know what's going to happen. Shavkat Rakhmonov's going to win by submission. That's what's going to happen. It's tough. He has 8 KOs, 9 submissions, right? So it's like, which one's he going to do? Submitted Jeff Neal. I think he has his last 2 have been submissions. The Carlson Harris one was a spinning hook kick. He could have submitting Carlson Harris is pretty tough. Yeah, I think he's going to submit Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy doesn't look great on the ground. His takedown defense isn't great. He's 40, almost 41. I know he looks good for his age. He's handled himself well. He's taking care of his body. He hasn't been hit, hurt, KO'd that much, that often, that badly, besides the Pettis one, right? And that was just a fluke. That was a fluke, but it happened. But he hasn't taken that much damage. But just being that age, like, Father Time doesn't lose. So, eventually the reflexes, they start to go slowly. The movement starts to go. The speed starts to go. The power is the last thing to go, but he doesn't really have power. So I think he's pretty cooked here. I think Shavkat's probably going to keep it standing. I mean, Shavkat's not somebody who's, going to do what Sean Brady did and say, you know what, I'm going to just stick to this one part of my game. Shavkat, even if he is outgunned on the feet, which I don't even know if he necessarily is, I think he might take him a little bit to get used to Wonder Boy's style, but he trained with Luque for this fight. And I think, like I said, I think striking may be a little tough in the beginning, but I think he's definitely going to once he finds his range and Wonderboy feels his power. I think he could get a little sketchy from there. And then I just think Shavkat finds a takedown, finds a grappling exchange, gets it there, and I think he taps him out or puts him to sleep very, very easily. So that's how I'm feeling. Plus 135 for sub seems like a pretty good bet.
Are you taking that on the card?
Yes, sir.
See, the thing that. And that is Shavkat submission plus 140 for everyone out there keeping track at home. I don't know, Ty. The club and sub worries me, or just the sub and club, or whatever you want to say. Like he's going for the sub. He's got maybe he's got his back. He's flattened out or something like that, and he just kind of gets struck out, and he never really gives up a submission, and kind of just basically covers up and turtles up and says, you know what, I'm good to go. I think I've done enough. That's what worries me from the gambling standpoint. I mean, TKO being plus 300, I think they're trying to tell you what they think is going to happen. And with submission being plus 140, I mean, Wonderboy TKO is plus 1,200. That would be awesome to see. It really would be. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the really smart bet, but we don't do this on here with parlays, would be Shavkat inside the distance minus 175. That is the smart bet. I just think that's a little bit too much to take on here. But I really want to. But I'm gonna go with you, Shavkat sub plus 140, and we keep it moving. That's just kind of how it goes.
I like it.
How about this one, ladies and gentlemen? For the first time ever, we will have David Goggins in the corner at a UFC event. I think maybe someone else has had him, but Tony Ferguson. El Kukui, champ shit only, getting back in there, what could be his last UFC fight. It really could be. Anytime that this man gets in there, It's it's the danger zone. He has lost how many in a row, Ty? That's right, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's been rough.
Crazy.
Ever since the pandemic came along, this man has completely just lost his superpowers, and it's
That
a shame.
That
Gaethje fight
really
just zapped him, and it has been an insane run of negativity since then because he, got basically got his arm broken by Charles Oliveira, but he kept fighting through it. Beneil Dariush.
Finish him in that fight.
I know he should have, but he just didn't tap. That's like the arm was. While I'm watching his arm bend, and I'm like, okay, this has got to be it, but it wasn't. Beneil Dariush dominated him. Michael Chandler was probably the one he looked the best in, and then he got his face punted off of his neck. Nate Diaz, Nate looked better in that fight. Nate was training for fucking Hamza Chimaev, so that was a little bit of a different version of him that you were gonna. Thank God that fight never happened. But Bobby Green, that was the
smoked him.
That was a tough one to see, and ever since then, my brother, shout out to Jimmy, being the biggest El Kakui fan I've ever known. He's just been, he's like, I think we should have retired a couple of years ago. He doesn't want to see this stuff anymore, and now he's in there against Paddy Pimblett, who it's been a year pretty much, right, since he's been in the cage. He came off of that controversial decision victory, but when I say controversial, I mean he didn't win that fight, and they gave him that fight basically to get him to 20-3. He is a big time favorite in this one. Not really though. -300 to El Kakui's +250, 245. I want more than anything else for Tony Ferguson to win this fight. I really do, because it would be so funny to watch Paddy Pimblett have to explain that he lost to Tony Ferguson and how, it was just it was a rough night out there. No, okay, none of that. It was a night. You little wanker. You're like, all right, dude, enough's enough. You beat Jordan Levitt. You started teabagging him. That was great. Ty, do you have anything to bet in this fight? Is there anything that you like? How do you think this fight's going to play out? Do you think Paddy just outstrikes? Like, this fight to me is fascinating just because I don't know. Like, I don't think Paddy's that good a striker, right? Like, his defense is bad, but I don't think Tony's going to be able to do anything about it. Tony isn't the guy to expose Paddy Pimblett is my first instinctual thought. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree, but also we didn't think Jared Gordon or Luigi Vendramini were the ones to expose Paddy Pimblett, and they both kind of did. They both got finished, but or Jared Gordon did not get finished. Luigi did, but shout out to my cousin. But still, I think Tony, if it stays staying the whole time, I feel like Tony can do a little bit. I mean, if he gets hit, he's probably going to melt, but he can throw some kicks. I don't know. I mean, Tony's movement in general is just pretty much cooked. I mean, him as a whole is just cooked. And then working with David Goggins, I don't know what kind of good that does or what kind of bad that does, but I'm sure throwing up violently is very harmful to your body, and all the other workouts and exercises that the Hell Week, I guess, right, is what he calls it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hell Week was not the thing that this version of Tony Ferguson needed in his life at this current point, this current stage. I'm not sure it did any good, but I have no idea. So I think, real quick, how many people in Paddy's 4 UFC fights, how many times did he land more takedowns than the other fighter?
None.
Once against Kazula Vargas.
Oh, I actually forgot that even happened.
Yeah, Kazula Vargas, not very good. But once he was taken down 3 times by Gordon, 3 times by Levitt, and once by Vendramini, and only got 1 takedown in those fights combined, and it was against Levitt. So, yeah, he'll give up a takedown. His takedown accuracy is not great. His takedown defense isn't great. His strikes absorbed per minute, not good. A lot of his numbers aren't good, but he gets takedowns, he gets subs. He's a very opportunistic finisher. His performance coach, his name is Paul Reed. Fun fact, B-Ball Paul. I just think also he's training with Cody Garbrandt for this fight. I don't know what that means, but that could be a red flag. I think he's a slow starter in round 1, but then he starts to get into a rhythm after getting hit a few times. Kind of like Tony, at least prime Tony anyway. But I think he has Tony covered everywhere, in every area: kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Everybody talks about how Tony's with a 10th planet jiu-jitsu, a bunch of black belts, this and that. But, getting arm triangled by Bobby Green last fight, not a great look. Not a great look. Everything in general is just diminished. So, the strengths that he did have aren't really a strength anymore. It's just kind of sad to see him still fight, if I'm being completely honest. So, yeah, I got Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to take Paddy Pimblett by sub, and I'm going to put that on the card.
Wow. I don't think I'm going to put anything on the card. I just don't trust anyone involved to get do the right thing and take care of business.
Paddy needs this fight badly. Real quick, also,
Sure.
He does a lot of harm to his body, blowing up right after a fight and then cutting all that weight and then blowing back up and cutting all that weight. But before the UFC, he used to fight at 145 a little bit, not frequently, but I think a couple times, and that is irreparable damage that you do to your body when you cut that much weight and then balloon back up and then cut back down and balloon back up. That is tearing up your endocrine system, and I don't know if he realizes. I don't know if he cares. Who knows? I know he's here for a good time, not a long time, but like Michael Chandler says, but still, man, that's going to take a toll on him at some point. There's going to be a point where somebody hits him and he just fucking goes out cold or something. He like gets a cyst in his stomach or something bad. Like, I know everybody jokes about him when he gets really fat, ballooning up after a fight, but that is not ideal. Not ideal, yeah. So hopefully he gets that under control, figures it out, because he honestly has. I see the potential in him, but still, I'm not his biggest fan. And just a quick note I want to share.
The reason I'm not going to take any, I think you're right. A Paddy Pimblett inside the distance is plus 100. You're getting submission at plus 275. So I think that's a great number. I just don't trust him to be able, the thing that I don't even know if Tony Ferguson's really training mixed martial arts these days. That's what the really concerning thing is. Who's he sparring with? Who's he rolling with? Is he even going to 10th planet is he training with these guys? I don't know. I don't think so. So that's what you can do all the crazy mental and physical training that you want, but if you're not working on your skills, then you have a guy like Paddy Pimblett who can pull some crazy shit off on you. Then I just don't trust anything in this fight. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch it, and I'll just enjoy myself. So that is. We have one more on the main card, or is that is the main card, right?
I don't know if we're getting an upgrade to something that has to get moved up to the main card.
So I would assume that this next fight would probably get the bump up.
Should, yeah, unless they do a Rene Aldana or Cody Garbrandt.
No, thank you to either one of those. I will just say that for the purposes of this podcast.
Yes,
Josh Emmett was supposed to fight. Who? Giga Chikadze,
yeah.
Which I think he would have won that fight. To be honest, I don't think Giga's that good. I shouldn't say I don't think Giga's on Josh Emmett's level basically, because Josh Emmett has fought some really tough guys, and he didn't let Ilia Topuria finish him when Ilia Topuria was putting the beats on him for most of that fight. And even fought Yair Rodriguez. He beat Calvin Kattar arguably. He's fighting Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell had a nice little return fight against Dan Ige. Did what he needed to do in that win. That was only 3 months ago. He's stepping in on short notice, so God knows what kind of shape he's in, or if he's, ready to fight. I assume he's ready to fight if he took the fight, but Josh Emmett's not going to be easily taken down, I don't think. So that's what really worries me in this, I guess, handicapping this or picking this. Bryce Mitchell is a minus 225 favorite, Ty. So they think he's going to have no problem taking him down and basically having his way with him. Do you agree with that?
Kind of. I mean, I know Josh Emmett has a wrestling background, but again, he's somebody that's had a bunch of injuries. He's 40? That's 39. He's 38.
Yeah.
38 turning 39 soon. He's not really young himself, and Bryce Mitchell coming in on short notice kind of scares me a little bit. His fight with Dan Ige was a couple months ago. I'm trying to look at Josh Emmett's takedown defense numbers. Not great, 46%. Got taken down 3 times by Taporia. It's been if you look at his resume, I mean, how many wrestlers has he really fought in general? I don't see any. Yair, Cater, Ige, Burgos, Bektic, Michael Johnson, Jeremy Stevens, Ricardo Lamas, Des Green, Scott Holtzman. Like, none of these guys are wrestlers at all. Even Ilya Taporia, and he took him down a couple times. Funny enough, Ilya Taporia beat the brakes off of both of these gentlemen, so that just shows you what our future 145 champion can do to people. Bryce Mitchell, he's not the prettiest guy. He's not going to put up the nicest stats. He's not going to wow you at all. He's nothing sexy about him. Kind of has a dad bod look. Again, none of his stats are great. Strikes landed per minute. I guess absorbed is good because he doesn't really get hit that much. But I think he should be able to get the takedowns here. It should, as long as he stays out of like striking exchanges, because obviously Josh Emmett is a very powerful striker. He's been in many wars, so he knows what it takes to gut it out, to get through. Just to outstrike Bryce Mitchell, I don't think that would be that difficult to do. But the problem is, I don't think he's going to be able to. I think this is going to look a lot like Sean Brady and Kelvin Gastelum, where Bryce Mitchell is just going to be in his fucking face as soon as the fight starts. Honestly, he's just going to jump right on a leg or two and try to get him down right away. And I think it's probably going to work. Honestly, I think he's going to get like 10 minutes of control in this fight. Maybe he can get a sub late, but it'll be interesting to see if he can bring the Bible into the cage this time. Either way, I think 30-27, I think Bryce Mitchell gets a unanimous decision. Maybe one round gets close if he can't get a takedown, or Emmett works his way up and he can get an extended striking exchange or exchanges. I think he can definitely win those. I don't think Bryce has anything for Josh Emmett on the feet. I mean, Bryce can crack a little bit, but his hands are not that good. So, yeah, I got Bryce Mitchell. I think he's going to push a relentless pace and win a decision.
I agree, and I'm going to take it on the card. I'm taking Bryce Mitchell decision plus 110. Are you taking it?
Lock me in.
Lock it in. Lock me in, daddy, is what some would say. I've never said that sentence, but
I didn't say it. You just said that.
Well, no. I mean, like, all right, let's keep it moving. In the interest of, in case this fight does happen, which I don't think it will, but what do you think about Vicente Luque and Kevin Holland? Do you does that fascinate you at all? Do you think
it does? I just it's so late notice and such a late scrap, just a fight to scrap together. But I'd be down for it. Kevin Holland's done it before. I think Luque's done it before. I don't know if they've ever fought. I don't think so, right? They have so many common opponents, but I think I would probably take Holland in that one just because of the Luque brain injury, and Holland's quicker and maybe hits harder and just I don't know. That would be a great fight. I wouldn't bet on it. I would fucking love to watch it though.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's probably what I'm at. I can't find any odds for it, just even perspective odds.
It's probably not. I'm guessing it's not happening. Like,
yeah,
no
same.
chance.
It's just kind of fun to talk about.
What is it, Thursday?
It's Thursday now, yeah, and you have basically they'd have to show up and weigh in tomorrow.
Yeah, so let's not do that.
But I mean, hey, let's do that though.
Let's do it.
I mean, just for my own fun, let's do that.
Isn't somebody in one of these title fights weighing in as a backup fighter? Did I see that? Is somebody doing that?
I mean, they usually do that. I don't know who it would be though. Probably be Bilal Muhammad or something like that. That'd be so fucking
I think it might be Bilal. Also, guys that do that, I've heard, get paid pennies, peanuts to weigh in to make weight, to go through a whole weight cutting process and make weight just to be a backup fighter. Apparently, it's less than $10K to do that. So, not something I would sign up for.
Yeah, not something I would sign up for either. I would probably be with you, and maybe Holland would have. I don't know. I'm probably with you to stay away. Just because all of the unknown that would be involved in it. So, stay away. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we think is the main card. If these fights get mixed up, it's not our fault. It's still Thursday, and we don't know where they're going to put what or who's going to go where. So we are going to keep it moving. We have Irene Aldana, Ty's girl, fighting Carol Hossa. So Carol Hossa, this is at 135. Carol Hossa, I think, has recently fought at 45, right? Did she fight?
I don't think so.
Did she fight Norma Dumont? Maybe, I'm not sure. It says 145 on here as one of the things that she's fought at. So that's what. Oh, yeah, so her last fight was at 45 against Yana Santos.
Yana. All right.
And that was an ugly one. So
Yeah.
she is coming off of a split decision against her and then a loss to Norma Dumont, friend of the podcast. I like to bring that up whenever I get the chance. Irene is coming off of a kind of just dominant loss to Amanda Nunes, where I think that was the Amanda Nunes retirement fight. Is that correct?
Yep.
So that's where the Lioness walked away that night. And now 35 is just in a hellhole. So Irene is kind of... the winner of this, could they be up next for the title? It's kind of in a situation where anybody can really fight for the fucking title.
If you can win a fight and show up and breathe, you might be able to fight for a title in this one. I mean, Raquel Pennington's fighting for a belt, and Renee Aldana almost beat her a couple of years ago before COVID. I think it was a split decision. So, I guess you never know. Carol Hossa, if she gets a 2-fight winning streak, she could be in the running. But yeah, her last fight. It's funny. Carol Hossa is 28. And she has looked much worse recently. She started her career on a 4-fight winning streak, and she looked pretty good in all those fights. But very, very low level competition. She stepped up, fought Sarah McMahon, got out wrestled. Fought Lena Landsberg, got knocked down, and had to actually resort to wrestling herself to get that win. Loses to Norma Dumont after getting a knockdown, and then fights Yana Santos, and the only way she won that was with a takedown, with wrestling. So she's had a really up and down, like every fight's different. She hasn't, she's getting out wrestled, then she's out wrestling somebody, she's getting dropped. She gets wobbled a lot too. So I don't know. The consistency is just not there. I don't really know what she is at this point. Again, she's only 28. Like, at least with the Renee Aldana, I'm like, all right, she's in her 30s. She's starting to fall off. That kind of makes sense. With Carol Hossa, I can't really figure her out. But I will say, Renee Aldana, her last 3 wins, has a knockdown in each of her last 3 wins. I think Renee Aldana hits harder. I think she's a much better, cleaner striker. Hits way harder. Ground game is obviously her weakness. The Macy Chasson fight was not going the way I thought it was going to go, but we got that finish. It doesn't matter. Hossa volume is down. Her, I just don't like any of her all around game. I think all of it is kind of like she looks like she's laboring. So I'm gonna take a shot here. I'm gonna go Renee Aldana inside the distance. I think it stays striking the whole time, and I think she's gonna be able to find Carol Hossa's chin. I think she's gonna hit her hard with a left hook, and if Carol Hossa was smart, she would just wrestle, because it's so easy to out-wrestle Renee Aldana. She can't work her way back up. She can't stuff a takedown. She's not dangerous off her back unless she's throwing an up kick. So that should be the clear game plan for Hossa, but she's not really good at it. So I think this is going to stay standing for most of the fight, and I think the more it stays standing, Carol Hossa is in deep, deep trouble. If you're getting knocked down by Lena Landsberg, who's a very basic striker, I think Renee Aldana is going to have a lot for her, especially with those front kicks, those long legs that she has. I'm here for it. For Aldana.
I'm going to take Irene Aldana TKO plus 450.
Let's go.
I think Carol Hossa stinks. So, that fight against Yana Santos was all I needed to say. And I think Irene Aldana's, she was getting outstruck, outclassed, out everything in that Amanda Nunes fight, but she didn't get knocked out, and she didn't get finished, and she was getting wrestled, but that's Amanda Nunes, and that's Carol Hossa is not Amanda Nunes. So
also, wasn't Yana Santos, didn't she just come off a pregnancy too after that or before? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Not a good look. Not a good look for Carol Hossa.
And I think she gets cooked. So I'm going to go TKO. You're going to go inside the distance?
I'm going to take TKO with you.
Hell yeah. That's why I didn't write it down. I knew you would. I knew you weren't going to let me go to battle alone. TKO plus 450. That's a nice number. I don't think that's necessarily. There's a reason that's because Aldana decision is plus 110. So I think that they think this fight's going to go to decision. But if Aldana is going to have success, that means she's going to be putting a beating on Carol Hossa. And she's.
Beat me down, baby.
Beat me down. She's got a 4-inch of height advantage against Carol Hossa, so she'll be hawking over. She only has a 1-inch reach advantage, but that's
them legs, though. Them legs.
Yeah, them legs. So now, this is probably the people's main event right here. This is the fight that the masses will be huddled around. If this was the old days, you'd have the radio ready to go, playing in the background, listening to Jack Dempsey try and get his world heavyweight title back. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but Cody Garbrandt, this is our Jack Dempsey. Cody.
I guess so. I guess you could say
What
that.
a sad world it would be if Cody Garbrandt was our Jack Dempsey, but he's fighting Brian Boom Kelleher. Boom is the guy they send in there when a guy needs a win. When he needs a win, they put him in there. Mario Bautista, Umar Nurmagomedov. He did beat Kevin Kroom. I will always give him credit for that because Kevin Kroom is a piece of shit. So I hope that everything bad happens to that guy. No, it seems like it's not a legend. I trust him, Elliot. So Brian Kelleher is a plus 160, 170 underdog to Cody No Love Garbrandt. He's a minus 185, 198. Now, Cody Garbrandt of recent years has become a pullout merchant. This guy's pulled out of every fight. He's coming off of a win earlier this year, which feels like it was 1,000 years ago against Trevin. Is that 5-star Jones?
Yeah.
That's not to be confused with the other Trevin Jones, but Trevin Jones just won in Cage Warriors against Wilson Wright.
That's crazy. In the year 2023.
But Cody Garbrandt, before that, got eliminated at 25 by Kai Kara France. He went to war with Rob Font in a fight that was ugly. He did knock out a Rafael Sunsao. And, I mean, it sounds worse than it actually is, it seems like, when you look at the list. But that little spurt of the 5 losses in 6 fights was not a good time to be a Cody No Love fan. Cody No Love, though, he is a favorite in this one, like I said. You can get him as high as 225 on here, Ty. Is this more of a case of people just think Mr. Kelleher stinks? Or do we think that Cody actually could, still have some juice left in the tank? Even though he's only, 32 years old, it seems like he is a old man. Back injuries, all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah, he went to Germany, right, for multiple back procedures back in the day. So I can't imagine that helps with the aging process once you turn 30, 32. That's probably not good. But Boom Kelleher is, 37. Turns 38 next August. So not almost 38, but he's 37. He's been around for a minute. 8-7 in the UFC, so you got to figure that 500 record is looming. Was supposed to fight Journey Newsom, kind of got lucky. I think Journey Newsom would have probably tore him up, but I don't know if he's I don't know if he's UFC caliber. I guess he's the guy. Like, his wins come over guys who aren't UFC caliber. Kevin Kroom, Domingo Pilarque, Ray Rodriguez, Hunter Azure, who is now back in the UFC. The Ode Osborne fight, I think he was getting beat up before then. So. And even Hendon Burrell, way back in the day, got a win over the Baron. However, I think Boom. I saw he had a major neck surgery / spine fusion, something like that. 7 months ago.
Flag.
Yeah, I don't like messing around with the neck, spine, back, or crack part of your body. Also, Kelleher 1 KO in the last 7 years, so I don't think that really adds up with the Cody No Love chin. Cody is starting to fight safer, I guess, to protect his chin. His volume is down a lot.
He turned into DC his last fight.
Yeah. Which I'd like to see him do. I would like to see him just have a cohesive game plan. I feel like sometimes he just doesn't have one or throws it out the window. I don't know if he's just really scared to get hit or, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I really hope he's in a good spot. Honestly, I feel bad for him. He's been through a lot. I think he's just much, much quicker. I think he has a huge speed advantage. So I think he should win this fight with any kind of combination of MMA, if you will.
I am going to go Cody Garbrandt TKO. Cody No Love turns the clock back, finds Brian Kelleher's chin, and eliminates him from whatever the fuck is going on here. Brian Kelleher, I believe he's only been TKO'd 1 time. He's been submitted 8 times.
Cody Garbrandt, triangle choke. Cody Nurmagomedov, come on.
John Lineker knocked him out 5 years ago in the 3rd round. So that doesn't give me a good feeling. But, right. I mean, he hasn't exactly fought anyone that really throws, bombs or has been forced to throw bombs because all they have to do is just take this guy down and sub him and it's over. So maybe you think Cody No Love could sub him here? Is that even in like the realm of possibility?
He has 0 career subs, so
so he's gonna knock him out. I mean, it's Cody No Love
rocking his shit.
So let's rock his shit. Give me Cody No Love TKO. I don't remember the last time I wrote a Cody Garbrandt TKO on the sheet. But it's
Brian
happening.
Keller knocks him out. That'd be crazy.
He needs to walk away then. He needs to go back to doing whatever he's doing with those
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, his bully thing that he's got all these dogs running around. He's trying to sell dogs on his Instagram. Yeah. Are you let me ride
profile?
Yeah, things went downhill after he was dating that chick.
Yeah.
That with all the tats, and she didn't like him anymore.
I
mean, he was raw dogging PVZ for a little bit there, so I mean, good for him.
He was the OG one too.
He was. He got there first. So, who knows? How about Cody Garbrandt gets it done against Brian Kelleher? We are just taking forever to get through this, but I don't care, people. You guys listen for our banter and for our enjoyment. So
who knows anymore?
Casey O'Neill, Ariane Lipski. I mean, honestly, the problem is that this fight card's so loaded that we have to give all of these fights their own proper little time. Casey O'Neill, I always think whenever somebody fights Roxanne Modafferi, I always just like to bring it up and say, wow, congratulations. I mean, she lost to Jennifer Maia the last time out there. That was not a good look. Ariane Lipski, the queen of violence. The last time she was out there, she was getting a split decision against Melissa Gatto, a win against J.J. Aldrich, and then getting absolutely eliminated by Priscilla Cachoeira a little over a year ago. So, Ty, what do the odds tell you? Casey O'Neill is a minus 190 favorite to Ariane Lipski's plus 160, 155. What do you think? Do you like? I know you've always been a big Casey O'Neill fan. I just wonder, is this a spot to really make any money here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's like not the best athlete in the world. I think she's a little on the slower side. She's had some injuries herself. I don't think she's much of a fraud as Luana Pinheiro, but I think she has some fraudulence in her. I am a big fan, but I think I just need to see more of the stand-up.
Yeah.
And the fight IQ. Like last fight against Maia, she didn't go for takedowns at all. And I think she's truly at her best when she mixes them in and throws some low kicks, throws a jab. She likes. She's definitely a high volume, which is really good because a lot of women's fighters you see are kind of low volume. So it's good that she has that. And again, having the ability to mix in takedowns would really suit her. I mean, that would take her pretty far in this game as she keeps improving. But last fight she just didn't, and that's kind of worrisome. And if you're going to fight Ariane Lipski, you have to mix in takedowns. She has powerful striking. Despite her striking defense and her durability concerns, she's been knocked out 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
Despite all that, Ariane Lipski hits hard. She's quick. Good kickboxing, good Muay Thai. She would probably smoke Casey O'Neill if it stayed standing the whole time. But like I said, I think Casey's a pretty good round winner, high volume, opportunistic finisher. I think she can, like when she got Antonina out of there. I think she should just get this on takedowns, honestly, and just use her wrestling. She doesn't land. She lands about 2 takedowns per 15. Her accuracy isn't great. Lands almost 9 significant strikes per minute, so that's kind of crazy. But she also absorbs almost 6. So definitely not something she wants to do here with the Queen of Violence, who isn't always high volume at all. She kind of looks for the big shots. So both of them have fought very inconsistently. I'm not really sure what their plans are going to be for this fight, but I do know my pants will be at my ankles. So I got Casey O'Neill, unanimous decision. I want to pick a finish, but I just don't know who or what or. I feel like there's a lot of variance in this fight, and they're both unpredictable with how they're gonna fight. So I'm just gonna go O'Neill decision. I think she's gonna out wrestle her, lay on her, maybe get a TKO, maybe get some ground and pound. Honestly, Casey O'Neill has a bunch of ground and pound victories, and Ariane Lipski has been grounded and pounded out by a couple times. Montana De La Rosa and Antonina Shevchenko ground and pounded Ariane Lipski. That's kind of a red flag if I've ever seen one. So. Casey O'Neill, TKO, I could see why somebody would take it. I was thinking about it, but I don't know. There's too much unknown here. I'm just not gonna make a bet.
No bet for Ty. Decision is plus 150 on this, so I think that is a nice little number to get. I am going to bet Casey O'Neill inside the distance plus 240. I just think Ariane Lipski's strength of schedule is not the greatest. Neither is Casey O'Neill's, but I just have more faith in Casey O'Neill's skill. And I don't really feel – honestly, I don't feel good about this. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I just think if you're getting eliminated by Antonina Shevchenko, I think Casey O'Neill can pull a version of that out of herself and take care of business. And I think Lipski's a fraud. I've always thought that. So she, like you said, she does have powerful strikes, powerful hands, but she's kind of the best hammer and really bad nail sort of situation. So, and I think Casey O'Neill's a fraud. She's like from Scotland but lives in Australia, so she's got like six different accents going on. It's a real weird situation, but I'm gonna go O'Neill inside the distance plus 240. And that is my pick. That is one hell of a pick. How about that?
Fuck him up.
Alonzo Menafield, Dustin Jacoby, 205-pound banger that's just kind of hanging out during this card. Menafield's a plus 240 underdog to Dustin Jacoby's minus 270, 300. Now, Dustin Jacoby, he's coming off of a win against Kennedy Nzechukwu. Before that, he lost to Mirzakhanov and Khalil Roundtree, Roundtree being a split decision loss. So that was...
Yeah, I thought he won that
I
one.
thought he did too. The Mirzakhanov one was a little bit more...
yeah.
But, I mean, that was like a
though.
wrestle fest. That guy's a fucking murderer, dude. So I don't try to hold that against him all that much. Alonzo Menafield, 14-3 now. He's coming off of a guillotine of Jimmy Crute. That was a impressive win. Before that, he knocked out Misha Serkinov. And then he killed that guy who was a fraud, right?
Your boy.
Yeah, the fake. He looks Italian, but he's actually Ukrainian. He looks so Italian, but whatever.
His record's gonna be like 10-10 by the time
he's 17-13 now. I don't know how this keeps changing.
Remember he was 24-7.
Yeah, he's 17-14 now. I'm sorry. He just the last one was the Menafield. No, it was the Menafield.
Okay. Maybe he doesn't fight ever again. Maybe he's not even a fighter.
I don't know. I don't know who that guy is, but it's tough. The last loss for Alonzo Menafield, that's right, William Knight. He lost the decision to William Knight. Now, I would like to hold this Jimmy Crute win in big regard, but it kind of seems like Jimmy Crute was. I don't want to. I hate to say that because he lost to a lot of good guys, but he could have been a little bit of a fraud, or just it just seemed like the more time that went on, he was getting exposed more and more. I think this number's a little off, don't you think? Jacoby should not be this big of a favorite. Yeah,
it's very high. I guess the only thing I'd say is, there's kind of a difference in fight IQ. Like Menafield takes chances, and also, his cardio and fight IQ are both very, very iffy. They've kind of held him back most of his career. I know he's a little shorter, but kind of has a long reach, so it's not like he's undersized or anything. The William Knight fight, he kept getting into grappling exchanges and just got controlled for the first and third round and pretty much fucked himself over. It should have been an easy win. The OSP fight, remember, he just walked right in to a fucking left hook, I think. Don't even understand how that happened. The Jimmy Crute draw the first time, I mean, he was doing what he wanted to, Jimmy Crute, knock him all around the ring and then just let him off the hook multiple times. So his fight IQ is definitely questionable. Dustin Jacoby, he's getting older, but I think he knows what he wants to do. Everybody knows really what he wants to do. He wants to stay on the outside with that elite kickboxing game that he has. For 205, he's got really good movement, really good footwork. A lot of the guys kind of can't really mirror what he does. I think Menafield might be able to in the early parts, but as the fight goes on and he wears down on Alonzo with some kicks, going in the body, going down low, maybe clinching him up and kind of working him over and tiring him out. Alonzo Menafield is yoked, so there's a big possibility for a cardio dump here. Dustin Jacoby, though, not the best defensive grappling. I wonder if Alonzo will try to go for that with his, he's a little shorter, so maybe he can try to just out-muscle him and go under him and try to get a takedown or two, maybe. I think he should be able to catch Menafield coming in, though, because Menafield does like to come in wild, and I think that's kind of Jacoby's right in his ballpark. Catch him come in, kind of like OSP did to Alonzo. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jacoby. I like his volume. I like his all-around game. Bigger guy. I don't know if he's stronger, but he definitely has the height advantage. So I think he's also the smarter fighter, and the better mixed martial artist. So give me Dustin Jacoby decision. I do agree that this line is kind of wide, so I'm not really I don't have anything here that I'm going to play.
I think I might bet TKO. I think it's possible that he has a decision in him, Menafield, but I like you said, like I think he's a big guy. It's hard to carry all that weight. He's 36 now, and I don't know. Like I just feel like this isn't Ed Herman. This isn't the fake Mozarov guy. Like it's this Jacoby. I have great respect for and his ability, and even if you're going to wrestle him, somewhat similar to what Mirzakhanov did, he didn't give up. He didn't quit, and he didn't just roll over, give his neck up when he maybe could have. This guy's beat Olajaychuk, Daun Jung, not probably not the biggest name out there, but he's not an easy win. And Kennedy, who we've talked about on here many a times, who you hard to figure out. Sometimes great, sometimes not. He was able to get him out of there in what, a minute, right? I mean, minute 22. So I'm going to count on Jacoby finding Mr. Round, or who we at? Menafield's chin.
It'll be racist now.
No, well, he fought Roundtree. I'm pretty sure. I have Roundtree's name right
now.
He lost a split decision to Khalil Round. No, I'm just kidding. But give me that TKO. I think it's plus 180. I think you want decision on here? You get plus 175 if you want it.
Stay away. I'm going to stay away. You're trying to bait me, but I'm staying away.
It kind of shows, though, like how the Vegas really doesn't know. It's either one of those two. Like those are the props that they're going for because they're basically the same number you can get for either one. So interesting. How about Tagir Ulanbekov, Cody Durden, another sneaky just banger hanging around in this fight or in this card. What do we have odds wise here? I think this is I gotta start searching all over the sheet for this one. Plus 145 for Cody Durden to Tagir Ulanbekov's minus 170. Ty. What do you like here? Do you have a lean? Cody Durden, from what I've heard, he's not really a good guy. Or I don't know. I think I get him mixed up with Brundage, and he's not a good guy.
Cody Durden.
They look exactly the same. One's just smaller.
Yeah, one of my favorite podcast guys is good friends with Cody Durden. Always has good things to say. He seems like a good dude. Does like giveaways and shit. Always down to talk to the fans. He seems like a cool dude. Again, I could be wrong. He's also been on kind of a heater. 4 fights in a row, 4 wins in a row. Only one finish, but 3 other dominant performances. The Carlos Mota fight, not great, but he looked awesome against Charles Johnson. Took him down 11 times. Looked really good against Jake Hadley.
Yep.
And I bet on Jake Hadley in that fight like a dumbass. How old is Tagir? Let's see. Yeah, only 32. So they're both. I think they're both 32. Yeah, they're both in their prime. Tagir. His last fight was just nasty front choke that he had on Nate Maness, the standing guillotine. That was, the way he cranked it was awesome. And all his other fights have been pretty solid, pretty close. I remember he lost a close fight to Zalgas on the regional scene, so that's one of his 2 losses. He also has a loss to Sharaputin. Oh, it's a different guy. I'm sorry. I thought it was Sharabullet.
Yeah.
It's Sharaputin Magomedov. So
is that the same thing?
No,
I thought that's his real name.
I think he's Sharaputin. This guy's Sharaputin.
Oh, my
bad. Putin. He lost to him as an amateur. But either way, I like Tagir's ability to kind of catch guys. If you shoot a sloppy takedown on him, he's gonna get that neck and he's gonna fucking put you out. He's got a lot of heart. He's got sneaky subs, like I said, good low kicks, good jab. I think Tagir's gas tank's kind of iffy the deeper in the fights you get, but kind of the same thing with Cody Durden because of that style, that pressure, that wrestling pace that he pushes. He gets about 5 takedowns per 15 minutes, but like I said, he can also be caught in subs, Cody Durden. Like when you go for takedowns, you can get caught in a front choke, and that's Tagir Ulanbekov's thing. Cody Durden, junkyard dog, man. He's, if he's tired, the other guy's definitely going to be tired. So I kind of don't know what to do here. Cody Durden has been training with Alexandre Pantoja lately, so I like that. I don't know. I really don't know. This is a guy I've been wanting to take Tagir Ulanbekov by sub, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take a shot on Tagir by sub. I just think he's got an ability to just kind of find chokes out of nowhere, and he cinches them in right away, very quickly. And the thing with Cody Durden is kind of get sloppy. Like I said, I do think he is a junkyard dog. I do think he's a savage. I think he has that dog deep down in him, all up in him. But sometimes he gets a little sloppy. And he shoots a lot of takedowns. So you got to figure he's going to have to try to neutralize the submission game by just, I guess, shooting non-sloppy takedowns, right? Shooting good takedowns and getting Tajir down, controlling him, laying on top, doing some damage. Maybe, honestly, going for a submission himself. Remember, I think he took Jake Hadley's back like 5 times and went for a rear naked choke multiple times against him. So I could see a lot of variance in this fight. I could see both guys winning by sub, honestly. So I'm just going to take a shot on Tajir, catching him, coming in with something sloppy, or later in the fight where they're both tired and one of them just gets gets the other's back, and maybe that's the fight. But I think it's going to be really close, and the winner of this fight probably get another a really good step up in their next fight. So give me Tajir with a guillotine.
So Ulanbekov sub is plus 380. So I think that's a good number to get that at. I am taking it as well. Cody Durden, 3 of his losses. I think how many? I think he's only got 4 losses on his record.
He's been guillotined, so
but yeah, he's been submitted 3 times of those 4. So I am going to count on Ulanbekov, like you said, finding something. He has a lot of submissions on his record, and he is a guy, long arms, just finds stuff in these little exchanges. He's never TKO'd anybody. He's got 8 submissions, 6 decisions. And I think that's a good number for a fight like this. That's going to be high pace, a lot of grappling, not a lot of striking. Give me Ulanbekov submission plus 380. So let's get it. Andre Feely, Touchy Feely, which is always a crazy nickname. He's getting back in there against Lucas Almeida. Ty loves Lucas Almeida. He's just his kind of fighter, a random Brazilian guy who just got submitted by Pat Sabatini in June, does have a win against Mike Trezano. He also fought in Jungle Fight, so that's another feather in his cap. I got to find these odds. I don't know where they are, though, so until then, I'm going to kind of do random
minus
stuff.
175
there you go.
For Andre Feely, plus 145 for Lucas Almeida. Also, Lucas Almeida had a really good fight with Daniel Zellhuber on the Contender Series a couple of years ago. I just went back and rewatched that fight. Very good, very back and forth. He was hitting Zellhuber with some big shots. His last fight didn't look great against Sabatini, but I feel like he hasn't eased his way into the UFC, right? Mike Trezano's not the easiest guy to fight. Daniel Zellhuber, getting him on the Contender Series is wild. I believe him and Trezano knocked each other down, right? I don't know.
I think that was that fight.
They were just smoking each other. And then he fights Sabatini, and he didn't get an opportunity to breathe in that fight, right? And I think the first round he got taken down like 3 seconds into the fight. As soon as the first round started, boom, takedown. And then second round, same thing, but this time he was like, "Yo, I'm good. I'm gonna go home. I think I've had enough of this," which is fair. Pat Sabatini, elite jiu-jitsu. So we'll see what Almeida can do here. I don't think Andre Feely is going to necessarily work the jiu-jitsu or work the wrestling.
No.
I mean, he took down Bill Algeo. He beat Bill Algeo by securing a late takedown and controlling him, which is very, very impressive. Bill Algeo has also, I think he's a multiple-time black belt. So to have any kind of success grappling against him is pretty good. That's why I think Andre Feely, I like him. He's solid all around. He can get takedowns once in a while, but he likes to stay striking. His kickboxing is nice. He's quick, long. The problem is he struggles versus powerful guys with speed, and I think Almeida kind of fits that bill. And also, Feely's starting to lose his durability a little bit. Starting to, how many fights does he have in the UFC? He has a fuck ton of fights. Like, he has been in the UFC since I think he was a teenager. I think he was 19. Yeah, 20 fights in the UFC. He's 10-9, and one has that no contest, the accidental eye poke against Daniel Pineda. He started in the UFC on Cain Velasquez Jr. Dos Santos 3. That's the card he started on.
That's insane.
So, yeah, that's fucking wild. And his first loss was to Max Holloway on John Jones Glover Teixeira, and he got finished in the 3rd round. So at least, he's been here before. He's been there, done that. He fought Yair when Yair was young, Calvin Cater, Michael Johnson, Sadiq Youssef, Bryce Mitchell, Charles Jourdain, Joe Anderson Brito. He had no problem fighting Joe Anderson Brito when nobody else did. Didn't go well for him, but yeah, he's not scared. He's not going to back down at all, for sure. I do like Almeida's Muay Thai. I think he has that awesome power. He was stinging Zellhuber early in that Contender Series fight, but he also can be hit. He's just a wild man. He doesn't really check kicks. His volume kind of slows down as time quickly advances in the fight. He has a quick cardio dump. It kind of just happens. So I think I'm going to go Andre Feely. to win this. I had to sneeze real quick, and I think he should probably outpoint him. I think that's going to be smart. I wonder if he's going to be lulled into a war, or at least a couple, maybe not a complete war, but maybe like a battle, maybe a mini war, right? Maybe a couple exchanges. Maybe he sits in the pocket a little bit longer than he should, and maybe that tall man defense fails him. I don't know. Lucas Almeida swings from the fucking bleachers, so this one could go a couple different ways. I think one of them probably finishes the other. I'm going to go Andre Fili TKO. I have no bet here, but that's the way I'm leaning anyway, with the experience and everything that he has going with him. The later this fight goes, I would love to see a Fili round 3 or round 2 prop. I think that could be something I tease in my private life. But no bet.
I'm going to go Lucas Almeida inside the distance. This was a fight that I was probably going to bet the underdog no matter who it was. I think it is a very close sort of matchup. Fili's the experienced guy. Almeida's the wild man. And I think, like you said, you made mention of it, this is kind of the build that Fili's going to struggle with. Fili does get hit. Like he'll hit people, but he does get hit. He's not really the greatest defensive guy, and he kind of tries to just, like you said, use his length to get himself out of dangerous situations. I think Almeida's going to catch him at one point, and I don't think the wrestling is going to be a factor here. Like, I think Almeida's going to be able to keep this standing, and he's never gone to decision. So I'm going to count on that being the case here, and give me that plus 210 inside the distance for Lucas Almeida. And now we are back to, oh my God. Wow.
Here we are, baby. This is the people's main event.
Shamil Gaziev. This is the guy who killed me by rear naked choking the guy on the Contender Series, getting his third ever submission.
Fucking knocked him down.
Yep.
In the first
After
2
he was
seconds.
just destroying Greg Velasco, who is who trains at your local gym. He was a monster. That guy didn't quit, but it was he was,
also got his back.
Yeah, he was up against it in this one because Gaziev, he's not that good. He's really not that good, I don't think.
I don't know. Did you see that knockout over Darko Stosic?
Yeah, but he was the guy who was training and fighting and then quit for 10 years and then decided to come back and do it again or something like that. And then he started fighting. No, he started fighting in 2020 because how old is he? He's 33, right? He turned 18, 19. They talk about this on the Contender Series. And he decided to get a job and help his family make money. And then when the pandemic rolled around, he's like, you know what? I think I might want to start fighting people again. Then he just went back and just started knocking people the fuck out, and quickly too. I mean, if you look at some of these, 20 seconds, 35 seconds, 33, 59, 38, a 2-minute rear naked choke. He goes to decision with some guy named Kirill. Then a 47
He's
seconds.
pretty good.
2 minutes and 50, 2:38. Yeah, this Kirill guy's pretty good. I just clicked on his thing. He looks absolutely terrifying. But listen, what do the odds say here? I'll tell you. Gaziev is the underdog. Plus 120. And I didn't even talk about the guy he's fighting. Martin Buday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Martin Buday is getting back in there. What is his nickname, Ty? Badis. Baddest.
Yeah, I was the baddest.
He just destroyed Josh Parmesan with a Kimura in about 4 minutes. I think I may have had a decision bet on that, and I instantly regretted it because I think Mr. Boudet is a big-time decision guy, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah,
is he? No, he's honestly not.
Yeah, no, he is.
Kind of. I mean, 6'3", he just got it in there. But so I don't think I like anything here. I don't know. I don't trust this Gaziev guy as far as I can throw him, and it's not very far because he's a large gentleman. Mr. Budai, I don't trust either. They're kind of the same size. They're the same age. This might be a situation where I just bet the underdog. But I was listen. When I saw Gaziev, I was like, oh god, this he's scary, but I don't know. That didn't feel good.
So I guess after all these years of where we thought they were saying Patty the baddie, they were saying Budai the baddest. So that I guess that's what people say when they Budai the baddies. I don't think Martin Budai is any good really. I think he has solid cardio for a heavyweight, but the Lucas Brzezinski and Chris Barnett fight, they both did really well against him striking wise. Honestly, they held their own. I think really all Budai's success comes when he grabs you and holds you against the cage, really. It's kind of what he did against Josh Parmesan before he got to Kimura, and that was just easy work.
Yeah.
He also got taken down by Jake Collier, the former middleweight. So, like, I think Budai is very susceptible. You know, he's more of a matchup guy. Like, he's going to beat the easy matchups, the Chris Barnett's, the other fella I just said, Jake Collier and Luke Brzezinski. I mean, dude, look at his 4 wins in the UFC. Parmesan, Collier, Brzezinski, Barnett. Like, no good fighters in that span. I don't even know if Shamil Gaziev is a good fighter, right? So he's fighting out of Bahrain, and he used to train with Khabib's dad. So kind of scary, right? Kind of scary. Like I said, he got his back taken by that guy Velasco. Like he dropped him 8 seconds, went down to the ground with him, and then somehow got his back taken. But then he ended up reversing him, getting him out, and then getting the rear naked choke. Very strong ground and pound he has. His cardio is probably not great. I would just guess. Like, that's just my assumption. And Budai is much better, but like, you know, these are heavyweights. I think cardio goes out the window. If one of them's tired, I'm sure both of them are tired. You know, I think that they get tired walking the ring. So I'm going to take the shot on the underdog. I'm going to take Gaziev inside the distance. And does he have any submissions? Does he have 3? So yeah, I guess it's possible. But either way, I'm going to go. Yeah, he choked out Velasco. So yeah, I'm going to go Gaziev inside the distance.
Gaziev inside the distance.
Write it down with Sharpie.
Wow, Ty. I mean, you think Budai he's just going to walk through him like that, man? You think you have no respect?
Respect for Budai. Budai is going to Budai.
Jesus.
Gaziev is going to hit him with something quick. A quick right, very powerful. He's going to drop and then maybe club and sub, or maybe more club. Maybe club and club.
So inside the distance is plus 180. Guess what? I'm taking it. I'm taking it with
Boom.
you. Plus 180. Somebody is going to Budai here. So I'm going to count on it being Budai, not Mr. Gaziev. Plus 180. I know I'm going to lose every bet that I take. So just so you people know out there, if you're still listening, it's not good.
Telling me.
This ain't good. I'm going to lose every bet.
Get away from me.
So yeah, I'm going to make sure I keep betting everything Ty does so that we both either lose money or we both make money. Yeah. That's the only way this happens. We got one more, Ty, before we move on. Randy Brown, the Rude Boys, kicking this off. This is crazy that this is kicking off the prelims.
Yeah. This is a pretty good fight too.
It really is.
Could be boring, but
could be. The king of kung fu is getting in there though. Muslim Salikov,
the best topology picture in the game.
Yeah, he looks like he used to fight in the 1960s.
More like the 1830s. But yeah,
it's insane.
Or both.
He's coming off of a loss to Nicholas Dalby, who has had a reemergence as a just kind of getting the respect that he deserves. He did eliminate Andre Filaho, but who hasn't? And lost to the Leech, who we haven't seen the Leech in a little bit. So what happened to the Leech? Didn't he get hurt?
That was a really good fight. He was supposed to fight Tony. That was last year. He was supposed to fight Chiesa this year, and then I don't know what's happened.
He got hurt or something bad happened to the Leech.
Got leeched.
Yeah, I think he got like a torn ACL, like something like long term, which is unfortunate.
Hopefully he doesn't end up like Mike Leach. Just saying.
Jesus. All right. We're just gonna keep it moving, man. Come on, man. Come on. All right. I don't even know how to bounce back from that. But this guy's had to mute his mic. He was laughing so much.
I got Randy Brown. I think you never know with Randy Brown. Like, he shows up and he looks like he's just sparring out there, and you're like, hey, can we turn up the volume here? You're fighting CM Punk, and I have you inside the distance at minus 1,500. What's going on? So you never know with him. I think Randy Brown could have success on his back. I'm not a fan of that strategy. Like, I think he throws a lot of kicks. I think Salikov is somebody you're going to throw some low kicks at, but he could catch him and go for a takedown. And then if that happens, I think Randy Brown could definitely be on his back for a little bit, even though, again, I think maybe he could throw up a triangle. He's very athletic, very, very long, very big. Like I said, I like his low kicks. I think his volume's on the lower side, but he does have power. He does pack a good punch. I don't trust really anything about Randy Brown's durability. He almost lost his last fight. he should just have many advantages here over the much older, slower Salikov. I will say, Muslim Salikov does have a nasty spinning back kick. Like that's his thing, and that thing comes in quick. He almost hit the leash with it a couple times. And I think before he got to the UFC, before he made his debut, he was on a 4-fight winning streak of all spin kick knockouts. So he likes him. He throws him often, and I just think with his age, he's starting to slow down. Right, the king of kung fu, just like the king of karate, it's Wonder Boy. Start to slow down. Your reflexes start to go a little bit. The speed, the quickness, the footwork, the sharpness, it all starts to slowly erode. And I think he's just up against it here. I think Salikov's up against Randy Brown's not young himself. I think he might be out of his prime, honestly. But he has so many tools to work with. I just think Salikov is a little outgunned here. I think he got marked up quick against the leash, even though he was doing some good things early. I just think he's up against it. Obviously, he's old, and his chin's starting to go too. His durability is starting to go. So, yeah, I don't know what his game plan in this fight's going to be. Maybe just to get wrestle heavy takedowns against Randy Brown. But I'm going to go Randy Brown. No bet, but I think he gets it done. I think he might get it done inside the distance, but he likes to win decisions. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away. I really want to bet Brown inside the distance, but I do not.
Don't do it. We've done it before.
Yeah, I don't trust it. And like you said, sometimes he'll just lean a guy up against the fence and he'll just hang him there for a while. You're like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, are you going to try and take him down? Are you going to throw a knee? Like, I don't know. And his jiu-jitsu is good. It seems like that would be his path to victory. Maybe getting a takedown. I know Salikov may be Russian, but he does not like to grapple. He is the king of kung fu for a reason. So. I would imagine the Rude Boy's best way to win would be a takedown and then a submission or something along those lines. But like you said, decision. Like the only loss that he had, like the only finish of recent memory is Alex Oliveira, where he rear naked choked him with one arm, and Jack Della, who he got rear naked choked by. So, yeah, I'm good on this. I don't want anything to do with it.
I even have it written down, but I'm going to cross it out.
Cross it out.
Make it permanent. And that is UFC 296 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hopefully we get a Luke A. Holland appearance just for fun, just for our own shits and gigs. But I don't think we will. I think this is it. And I hope we don't lose any of these fights. This is a really great card. I hope everyone makes weight and everything is all good. We still have 13 as of now. And we got Jake Paul. We got Jake Paul fighting this weekend, Ty. Do you care at all? He's fighting an August Taylor gentleman who I've never heard of before.
Andre August, no?
Is it?
August Taylor, I believe, is a adult film star, if I have my memory correct.
I'm going to have to take Andre August. You're right.
Yeah, I think if I remember
correctly,
I look
up August Taylor to see what the deal is.
Yeah, see what kind of movies she's been in. I think Andre August, if I remember correctly, he only has like one fight in his last 4 years. Something like that. He fought Brandon Martin. He fought Santario Martin. So he's fighting the Martin family. He seems like he has good hands, but I just don't know. I just don't know what he has here for Jake Paul. I know it sounds crazy, but he's older. Like, they handpicked him for a reason, right? They didn't pick this guy because they thought he's the next Mayweather. So, yeah, this guy's probably up against it. It's 10 rounds. So maybe Jake Paul gets the KO. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? I don't know if there's really anything else on this card. I guess the co-main is a big females fight, but we don't really know much about either of these ladies, but they do hate each other. So at least there's that. And still 2-minute rounds, which I think is completely stupid. But this is also taking place in Orlando at the Caribe Royale Orlando venue, wherever that thing is. So yeah, that'll be on DAZN Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Will you be tuning in?
No.
Are you frozen over there after your research of August Taylor?
No, I'm doing good. I'm
right.
now looking at the guy who Jake Paul's fighting, and no longer looking at August Taylor's body of work. Andre August.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got for me?
No, here? Like, I mean, he's 35. He's going back to like the playbook of guys that are a little older. You know, I mean, I guess this guy's more of a boxer.
I guess technically, yeah, he is a boxer. He has the most wins of any opponent he's faced, right? So I guess it's a step up theoretically. Also, Jake Paul says he wants to fight for a world title within 2 to 3 years. Now, it might sound it does sound crazy, but the fact that he's not saying 1 year, he's like, yeah, 2-3 years. That's it seems like he's taking it serious. Like he knows he can't just go in there tomorrow and fight, Benavidez, or they also did you see they came up with a new division, Bridgerweight, in boxing? Why not? Why not add more divisions? It's apparently, I think anywhere from 200 to 225, which I thought was cruiserweight, but I think cruiserweight is anything from 176 to 199. I don't know. I don't know. Nor do I care. But pretty much boxing, rank division wise, stops at 175 and resumes at heavyweight is what I am under the impression of. But either way, he wants to fight for a world title within a couple of years. He's around the weight where you kind of can get away with that in boxing. Like I said, like they have these random divisions with random champions who nobody really knows. Like Myers Freitas was a cruiserweight champion for a while, and then he just fell off. Like I could see. I don't know. I don't want to say I could see Jake Paul fighting somebody that I've heard of for a title in a couple of years, but who the fuck knows, right? Who knows? But I guess he gets it done this week. He's a big favorite, that's pretty much that for that card. There's a little bit more boxing, if you would like to.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about that than this, to be honest.
Divulge into that. We have a DAZN card Saturday night. Sonny Edwards, Jesse Bam Rodriguez at 112. You don't really see, I guess, main cards like this with a headliner at 112 or 108 or 106. So the World Flyweight belt, IBF, WBC on the line. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, one of the better fighters, one of the more action-packed, fun fighters to watch in boxing, coming off a win against Christian Gonzalez after he beat Israel Gonzalez. And Srisakat Sorung Visai took the crown from him. So he's on a heater. He's only 23, which is fucking crazy. He fights balls to the wall. Sonny Edwards fights a little differently. He gets a bunch of decisions. I think he's kind of probably not going to win this fight, I'll say. But the co-main event, Muradin Akhmadaliev at 122. He just lost to Marlon Tapales, who is now fighting Naya Inoue. Good luck to him. He's fighting Kevin Gonzalez. And Kevin Gonzalez is a pretty sizable underdog. I think plus 375. I'm just going to say, I like Kevin Gonzalez here, plus 375. Akhmadaliev, like I said, when he fought Tapales, it was a long layoff. The zone fighters or matchroom fighters, Eddie Hearn's guys, they all like to take a year or two off in between fights, and then they come back and lose. And it's like, damn, what happened to this top prospect? Why does he look like shit? Well, he's not active. So his fight with Tapales was earlier this year, so not a long layoff. But I think Kevin Gonzalez, man, he's really, really exciting. I just went back and watched his fight with the Puerto Rican fellow, Jose San Martin, and that was a war. So I like Kevin Gonzalez as an underdog in this fight in the co-main of this card. Who else is on this card? Nobody really else. That card's weaker than the main card on Saturday night at 10 p.m. The last Showtime card ever. Yes, I remember all the times me and my father would turn on the TV. He's like, what do we got? Let's check Showtime. Let's check HBO to see what boxing's on. And now neither are going to be around going forward with boxing. So that's kind of sad, honestly, very sad, if you will. I don't know. What would you say your favorite Showtime fight was? Do you have one off the top of your head? People forget Mike Tyson was with Showtime for a while, right after he got out of jail. Floyd Mayweather came over to Showtime. 10 years ago, on this day, Marcos Maidana beat Adrian Broner. That's probably one of my favorite Showtime moments. I hated Adrian Broner so much, and my dad did as well. Everybody did. Everybody tuned in to watch him lose. And Marcos Maidana took it to him 10 years ago to the day on Showtime. That was probably my favorite. I mean, Diego Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo, the fight where Diego Corrales came back from getting knocked down like 10 times. Yeah. And his trainer told him, hey, you better fucking get inside on him. And he did. So that was one of the craziest fights ever. Marvin Hagler.
Mine will probably be Connor and Floyd.
Just terrible. Give me a break. Marvin Hagler, John Mugabe, right after Hagler fought Hearns and before he fought Sugar Ray Leonard, he got a huge test from John Mugabe. That fight was crazy. Israel Marquez, Rafael Vasquez. Israel Vasquez and Rafael Marquez. Yeah, Israel Vasquez, Rafael Marquez. Their trilogy was crazy. Juan Manuel Lopez, Orlando Salido. That fight was nuts. Salido fucking embarrassed him in his home country. A lot of rambling, but I will miss Showtime. All the Showbox, the pay-per-views, everything they did for the game, for the sport.
Mamma Mia.
Jimmy Lennon Jr., underrated guy. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss Showtime just like I miss HBO and all the legendary voices. So this weekend, the last card, David Morrell Jr., a Cuban guy fighting at 168, long amateur career. He wants to get in there with Benavidez, Canelo, those guys. He's pretty good. He's a little bit away. He's fighting Senna Agbeko. I think he's probably going to beat the African assassin who's yoked out of his mind. Pretty good, but he's up against it here. It's taking place in Minnesota at the Armory. So kind of a random place for a Cuban boxer to have a base, right? A fan base in the middle of Minneapolis. And also kind of a random venue to close out Showtime. Like, I feel like nobody's going to really be tuning in. It's like a sad funeral for Showtime, but I will be there. I will be there no matter what. So that card's probably not going to be great. Dude, Robert Guerrero and Andre Berto are fighting on this card. Jesus. They're both 40.
The man's 40.
Like, Berto hasn't fought in 5 years.
Will David Diamante have to get a job now?
You stop it. You stop it. David Diamante will be at my wedding if I ever get married. And if I don't, he'll be at my funeral.
There you go.
Alberto Coelho also in this card. Pretty good fighters on this card, just nothing insane. Chris Colbert in the co-main against Jose Valenzuela. Chris Colbert used to be a top prospect. Now he's an underdog. So fall from grace. He's the guy with the pink hair, if you've ever seen him. So yeah, RIP to Showtime. Joshua Wilder, that got booked. The heavyweight belt will go undefended for 18 months. So boxing, you guys are doing great. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Devin Haney, what do you think about Devin Haney fighting at 140 and on fight night weighing in at 165? What do you think about that?
I think it's just part of the game, right? I mean, he made the weight. That's
and he looked good.
Yeah, and that's kind of amazing. What the price of doing business. If you're able to make that weight and then you balloon up, then that's good on you. But you lose some of yourself when you're cutting that much weight. So it's on the other guy to kind of take advantage of that.
Right, and I think Regis Prograis also was like 160, 155. Yeah. So who cares? I mean, it's been, like you said, it's been happening in boxing forever. That fight was really good. I can't wait to see what Devin Haney does going forward. He just called Tank a pussy last night on Twitter. That was good. He called him a fucking pussy, I believe. Not something I would do, but then again, Devin Haney is different. He looked really good in this fight last Saturday against Regis Prograis, who landed a record low for CompuBox's 38-year history at 36 punches landed in a title fight. So there you go. I mean, you got Teofimo Lopez, Subriel Matias. That's targeted for June in Puerto Rico. That should be Puerto Rican Day weekend. That should be fun. Richardson Hitchens, Jack Catterall, trying to make that fight. The 140-pound division was always forgotten because it's right under welterweight. Now it's booming. Absolutely. But Ryan Garcia, he's on the lower end, but he's still there. Teofimo, Devin Haney, Tank, Shakur Stevenson. Like, everybody's in that area. Josh Taylor. So I like it. I'm here for it. And Liam Parra was in the co-main. He got a huge knockout over Montana Love. He could be next. He also allegedly KO'd Shakur Stevenson in sparring per Devin Haney. So there's a lot of beef, a lot of drama mixed in to the 135 and 140-pound divisions. I'm excited. I am very excited.
It is a great time to be a fight fan. 2023 is coming to an end. They're going to send us out with a bang. And David Diamante, hopefully everything is good with him. He finds a new job.
He's doing good. We'll hear him this weekend. He'll be somewhere. I'm not sure where, though.
Hell yeah. I wish we could find out where he is going to be. I'm on his website right now.
He has a website, I didn't know?
I did not know that either, but it's taking 25 minutes to load, so I'm probably getting a virus.
It sounds about right.
You can book him now.
I'll book him. I'll book him for whatever. As I walk into work.
Request a recording. You can get a voicemail message for $99.
Oh, okay. That's a little expensive.
You can get a video recording for 300 beans.
Yeah.
And you say name, email, phone, red, blue corner, trunks, fight weight, fighting record. Oh, so I guess
if he's doing a whole intro.
Yeah, if you want to do the whole intro, you could do. He does corporate events. Matt, what? The Hammer. I want him to just do Canelo's. To just do Canelo's over and over again for me.
David. But say my name instead of Canelo.
So
fighting out of Guadalajara, Tequila, Chihuahua, Capone. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
All right, so I think we've wasted enough of your time, ladies and gentlemen. An hour and 44 minutes for this banger of a pod. packed episode. We're running out of time this year. We had to get it all in. So this
there's
is
not much going forward after this. So.
no. This has been the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I am Ty Capone.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to enjoy the Christmas season. I know it may be a tough time of year for some, but guess what? The best thing you can always do is have a rum and Coke. Don't abuse them, but just enjoy them.
Ho, ho, ho.